is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordyn. I am Sam. This is Jordyn with this lovely background she's got behind her. So cute with her little Taylor Swift vibes. I'm loving it.
Thank you. This was actually for my younger sister, Spencer. She turned 23 years old on the day of the portrait. Oh my God, the portrait. We're off to such a great start here. She turned 23 on the release day of the Tortured Poets Department, April 19th. So we had a little Taylor Swift themed birthday party here for her, and I'm not taking down the decorations yet.
They look very cute.
Thank you.
Working out. We are going to have a very, very heavy Taylor Swift episode today. This entire episode is going to be about Taylor Swift. Any football fans out there, you're going to have to wait till next week for draft content. Jordyn, do you want to mention some things we might be doing this week?
Yeah, there is. So if you guys have been following me and Sam for a while now, this was prior to Unsolicited, but very much a part of the Sam and Jordyn friendship. We put out so much draft content last year, and you guys loved it so much that this year there's going to be more coming. And this year may be a little more interactive than last year. Sam, do you think I'm correct with that?
Well, I think you might be. If you guys want to watch the draft with us.
We are planning on doing a live stream for the first round of the NFL draft Thursday at 8 p.m. The draft will officially air. And we are very excited, and we are so excited to do the live because last year we had an absolute blast. The content was amazing, but now this year kind of having the opportunity to talk with you guys throughout the picks, throughout everything and all the chaos. We are so excited for it. You know, we love any excuse to do a live show.
Yes, we certainly love it, and we are so excited. This is the best time of the year in terms of the NFL. Forget kickoff, forget the season starting. We adore the NFL draft. So, yes. And this is going to be a really good draft. Lots of quarterbacks, lots of possibilities of people trading and moving around. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we're not doing any preparatory work at all. We have no idea what's going to happen, and therefore we are not going to talk about what we think is going to happen. And we're
just going to react to what does happen.
Exactly. We hate mock drafts. We don't do mock drafts. We react to what's going on. But yeah. And then I think also next week we'll probably bring back our book talk segment because I am currently almost there. I'm almost there.
You're so close.
I'm so close. But figuring today is such a heavy Taylor Swift episode, we'll just cover the end of that book. Yes. Because it's been a journey so far.
I bet. And also, we are going to be together next week.
We are. Jordyn is going to be here in my house before we leave for my bachelorette trip. So we might have some fun content planned there as well. We have a lot of things going on.
There's a lot happening.
Life is bananas. But I don't know about you, but I am ready to talk about Taylor Swift.
I have been waiting for this moment to talk about this album with you.
We have spoke very briefly to each other about this album to begin with. Let's just start from the beginning. Let's talk about Friday night when both of us were awake. What are basically Jordyn and I were listening to the album at the same time on the same song, which was like pretty amazing actually. Yeah. Which I really loved it, but walk me through your Friday night. Or Saturday morning, really. How were you feeling through? Thursday night, Friday morning, whatever. You know.
Yeah, Thursday night into Friday morning.
Give me what you were thinking.
I'm gonna be honest. So you know how much of a Midnight's stan I am, and all I wanted was some of that Midnight's sound, which this album feels like a weird mesh of Midnight's red folklore, but also with like the storytelling and the dramatics of like debut Fearless Speak Now. Like it really is just like the perfect Taylor Swift album. There's really no other way for me to say it. So Thursday night, Friday morning, I'm listening to it, and I am loving the sound. However, I did not digest any of the words. Like, I had no idea what she was saying. And I even stayed up. It was like 1:40 and Taylor Nation was tweeting all this cryptic shit about like, oh, you'll want to be there. Oh, more is coming. Like they obviously didn't say more is coming word for word, but they were like being like really in our faces about this 2 a.m. thing. So I was like, okay, they like tease things for merch, but like never this hard. So it's like I was fully convinced we were getting more music, but I thought it was going to be like a midnight's 3 a.m. edition kind of thing where we get another like 5 or 6 songs, which I would have been more than happy with.
Yeah.
But that's what I was fully preparing for. I thought we were going to get all of the bonus tracks on the vinyls, plus a couple extra. Right. So that's what I was preparing for. And then obviously the announcement came and I stayed up. I made it through 22 of the 31 songs and then fell asleep. So I got to So High School and then was like, I can't go anymore. And I picked back up the next morning and I just have never had an album consume me in this way before, to the point where like my plans this week, like I literally have just been laying in bed, my TV on black, just watching the lyrics. And like, and that's been more than enough entertainment for me. Like I don't know what she put in this album. I know in Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, she jokes about putting narcotics in all of her songs because that's what all the critics say. That's the only reason why people are still listening. I think there's truth to it. I think there's truth because I'm kidding, but it's just, I can't think about anything else. I can't talk about anything else. I saw someone say that this album unhealed her. And I was like, you know what? That's real. Oh
my God.
Yeah. So I love it.
It is very good. And I was telling Jordyn before like the episode started that it took me a few days to fully process everything, to really understand what was going on and really consume the media, because it was so much. Even prior to the second release, like those first 17 songs, I was like, okay. And like for listening to it, I wasn't even listening to like the rhythm. I was just sitting there reading lyrics. Like I just had to just like digest everything. And I was so fully prepared for the entire album to be about Joe that I construed everything I was listening to be about Joe until I like really started thinking about it. And then of course people started posting TikToks and like more videos and stuff about it. And that's when I really realized like I like completely glazed over the tattooed golden retriever line. And I was just like, oh, whatever. I'm like gonna like just I don't have time to think about that right now. So like everything in my brain, like this was about Joe Alwyn. And that's what everyone thought it was. And all of the theories now coming out about Maddie Healy. And like most of these songs, like now like listening them back, like 100%. There's so many of these songs are about Joe Healy. There are songs about Joe. There are songs there are songs about Kim Kardashian, obviously, which we'll get to and we'll talk about that. But like I was just so jarred that I've now watched so many TikToks about this 10-year-long relationship that she's had with Maddie Healy. And I'm like, girl, you are 34, my love. Derogatory. What are you doing? Like, oh my God, thank God you wrote this to like remind you of how shitty. I never liked the 1975. Like, I never really consumed any of their songs. I never liked Maddie Healy. People were like, oh, wait, there's something about him. No, I never saw it. And they were together at our show, and he was there.
He was on stage with Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, and I just remember seeing that, and I was with Erin, obviously, and we were both like, he like looks like he smells. Yes. Like he just like looks dirty. Like I don't know, just a vibe. But anyway, I was just jarred to like actually now think of these songs as Maddie Healy songs, and I was like, it makes so much more sense.
I fully grasp and understand that they are about Maddie Healy. However, I am just telling myself that it's all Harry Styles and he was the great love of her life, just because it's easier to digest. And I know it's wrong. I know it's not true.
Jordyn.
What?
That is like I've not heard that at
Oh,
all. So like that's crazy that Harry Styles is the love of her life.
I wanted that. I'm a child of divorce. I wanted him
Fair.
to be the love of her life, and I love them individually. And I understand that, like, out of all her exes, like him and her seem to have a very formal, not formal, but like just like
Cordial.
cordial. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like friendship, relationship, post breakup. But yeah, no, I just keep picturing Harry Styles in all these songs because it makes it so much easier to enjoy.
Well, have you seen the theories that 1989 is like completely about Maddie Healy too? That I reject that like
I
completely.
I think that there may be like, is it over? Oh no, is it over now? It's so hairy because the boat and the blood.
Yeah,
I really think 1989 is hairy.
I agree. But people were saying that the song's
I
style,
saw that.
and I was like, get a grip. The man's name is in the song.
Yes.
Come
And
on.
again, I just want to make it clear that I know because I saw some people like people forcing like Maddie Healy. What this song was about him and that song was about him. I'm fully aware who all these songs are about. I understand the true meaning to the extent that we can because obviously her mind there's so much that we don't know.
Yeah.
But I again just for my peace of mind, I'm picturing Harry Styles.
That is so funny. That's hilarious. I was even like looking back on like all of the pictures, like people posting her in that 1975 shirt with the
Yeah.
skirt and him in the 1989 shirt. And I'm like, was thinking, okay, so during her 1989 era, like a lot of people know it was like a very bad time of her life. Like she had the eating disorder, like she was very unhappy, she was super depressed, like all that stuff. So it's like, obviously, it seems like this relationship started at a very toxic part in her life. And like, whenever she feel like she regressed, it was like go back to Maddie Healy because it was like a comfort for her, I suppose, if we're getting like we're in therapy now. But like I wonder if through this 6-year relationship with Joe, if there ever was times where like they called it off or like they were fighting and like one person went one place and one but like I wonder if like even during that like relationship with Joe, she like still was with like you know what I'm saying? Like not like I don't want to speak ill of the woman I know nothing about, but like
No,
you know what
the
I'm saying?
lyrics of Fresh Out the Slammer are insane. Like, that was one of the songs I keep having all these moments where they'll finally click and,
Mhm.
like, I get it, and I had that moment with Fresh Out the Slammer today. Listen to these lyrics.
Okay.
All right. Fresh Out the Slammer, oh, another summer taking cover, rolling thunder, he don't understand me. Splintered back in winter silent dinners, bitter, he was with her in dreams. So to me, that's like she's with Joe. They're in this like awful point of their relationship. They're not talking. They're both thinking about other people. Gray and blue fights and tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under. Like she's with him because of the love that they first had. And then for just 1 hour of sunshine. So she's going through all this hell for this little bits of joy with Joe that like cling on to the relationship that they had in the beginning. And then she says, years of labor, locks, and ceilings in the shade of how he was feeling, but it's going to be all right. I did my time. Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
So it was almost like an emotional relationship that she continued on with Maddie Healy. Like never anything physical,
Yeah.
but like emotionally she was always like convincing herself to be with Joe because he was this golden boy type of deal. And like Maddie Healy is the complete opposite of Joe Alwyn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. And again, like these are me interpreting her lyrics, but after everything that's come out, like that's insane. And I love it. I think
It-
it's the best thing ever. From a girl, I'm just so happy that this album came out. No, this is like really serious. I'm so grateful that
yeah.
this album came out now that I'm settled with the love of my life, over all my past traumas because Sam knows firsthand if this album came out 3 years ago, I would have ended up in jail. Like, so seriously, I would have gone bonkers.
I wish you were kidding.
No.
I know you're not. I know you're not, because when Evermore came out, you were like, I could go to prison today. Like,
Murder is okay, Taylor Swift, though.
no, I was actually thinking about that, but like I totally I get what you're saying now. And I'm sure like the fact that you said like somebody said like this unhealed me, like I get, like I understand where they're coming from, because
Yes.
if I had any sort of like trauma relating to these songs, I would like I feel like I did. And I didn't even have like anything crazy happen relationship wise to me, but I feel like I was like, I'm angry. And
Yes.
at who? I don't know.
It just sparks like female rage. And I'm walking around the house singing like all these like devastating, heartbreaking songs. And Brian's like, are we okay? Like, and I'm like, we're great. I'm like, but the songs are banging. I was like, he was so nervous because obviously the prelude, I was like, this is going to be the Joe breakup album. Like, this
Right.
is going to be the most gut wrenching thing we've ever heard. And it is, but in like a female rage sense, which is such a different type of emotion. And I literally told Brian, I was like, if anything, listening to these songs makes me super, super clingy to you for the fact that I never want to feel any of that ever again. Like, I just can't. I will never go back there. How did it end? I was like, if I ever feel an ounce of that pain, 13th reason, I'm done.
No, I feel like this is like obviously throughout her entire career, we've gotten a lot of insight on her relationships, on like, you know, what's going on in her, you know, her life, on her side of the story of everything, like all that kind of stuff. This has to be one of the most intimate albums of hers. Like she put everything out. She like exposed herself basically. Like she was just like, I'm in love with this dirty little rat and I am not afraid to say it. And then she was like, this is everything this dirty little rat did to me and I'm still with him, or I still love him. And then I was with this guy who treated me horribly for so many years, and that's everything he did to me, and I stayed with him. And then finally I decided to leave, and this and that, and but like I was still broken up about leaving this person, and like then I had to go and do my $1 billion tour and put a smile on my face and do it. And I was like it, there's so much insight. Like we learned so much about her, and it's like bananas.
She's also so fucking real. Like, this is
Yeah.
the most relatable album because, like I said, right now I'm at a very like good place in my life, but I fully grasp the feeling of ending a long-term relationship. There is actually nothing quite the same as ending a long-term relationship, getting that sense of freedom, immediately throwing yourself back into a situationship with an old flame that lasts 3 months, completely derails you, and then just absolutely wrecks you. Like, I get it. I've been there. And to know that Blondie also feels these emotions, I'm like, okay, I'm validated for all the things that I felt.
I
If
know.
he can go through it, then it makes me going through it a lot better.
It's like Taylor Swift. She's literally every woman in the world
Yeah,
for the
no,
most
she
part.
literally is, and that's the craziest part because, like, these lyrics are so deep and so personal to her, and yet, like, so it's just relatable. Like,
Yeah.
it's just real. It's just female rage and girlhood.
I want to talk really quick about, apart from like the breaking up part of this album,
Mhm.
Clara Bow.
I was
Uh,
just getting ready to talk about that. That's actually crazy.
and like I've seen a lot of people like like kind of do like a visual of like how this song is supposed to be like uh I guess looked at, and like basically it's like a timeline, right? Like it's like Clara Bow was a very like famous singer, actress. I think she was an actress in like the 30s or something. And they said, like, what I've seen so far is that Stevie Nicks was compared to Clairbo when she was first up and coming. And then Taylor was, I guess, assumably, compared to Stevie Nicks, and like, show, like she's even said like the hair and the lips are like what remind people of her and Stevie Nicks. And then I've seen a lot of people make edits where it's like Olivia Rodrigo being that third one. I personally thought of Sabrina Carpenter. And like, because they were like, you look like Taylor Swift. And obviously, Olivia Rodrigo does not look like Taylor Swift. I think Sabrina Carpenter does. And like, they're very close now. And she opened up for the tour. That, listening to that song, obviously, that was the last song on the album that I listened to before heading to sleep. And like, before the second part of the album came out. And like, I was like, oh my God, Taylor Swift knows who Taylor Swift is.
Yes.
Like, Taylor Swift is aware of Taylor Swift.
It was so jarring to hear her say her own name in a song. I was like,
Right.
And now she's officially like verbally said the name of every single album in a song at some point.
That's crazy.
Right?
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Right?
That's
Isn't that
crazy.
nuts? But no, Clarabelle, I think, is one of the most underrated songs on the album. I think it's beautiful. The melt, like I love it. And I've seen your theories with like comparing it to a person. When I listened to it, I didn't get it at first.
Okay.
As I did not get most of the album. It took me like 48 hours to even understand that it wasn't about Joe. Like, but I feel like it's like I'm like, what the hell happened? I'm like, what's the timeline?
Like, does Joe Alwyn look like Taylor Swift?
I think Clarabelle is about Joe. No, but I feel like it's just like a letter to, like, it feels like a reflection of the lucky one. Like her
sure.
now that like she really is like at the height of her career, because like she was huge with Red, huge, but nothing like where she's at right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just her like looking back on the industry and just like all the shit she went through, and then like all the people up and coming.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love that song.
It's a great song.
What's the other one? Oh my God, I hate it here.
Oh, so beautiful and
So beautiful.
gut-wrenching.
It like makes me want to frolic and stab myself at the same time.
It's just because like especially as people who read books, and it's something that's like really like an escape.
Yes.
And I have like felt that hardcore in my recent days, like just sitting down and reading a book and just like forgetting about everything that's going on right now. And like hearing her say that, like, I go to place, like, you're like, yes, like that's how you cope with things. You basically leave them behind and think about something else. And like books are the best way to do that. And it's such a good song. But yeah, it's like got this like kind of like twinkly melody. So like you kind of feel happy about it, but then you listen to the words and you're like, that's a lot of the songs on here, to be honest.
It's the Jack Antonoff special. It's like I want to know myself, so here's a pop synth beat. Like
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is literally one of the biggest bops, and it's so sad. I can't, like, I literally listened to it, and like Michael was listening to the album, like he was playing video games, and I was just like, it's midnight, it's time to listen to TTPD. And he was like, okay. And so he sat there and like listened with me, and like I was sitting there and I was just listening on my phone, and I was just like going like this with it. And then she was just like, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday. And I was literally going, oh yes.
no, literally. And I saw so many people. We also haven't really even gotten into this at all yet. The hate that I've seen for this album, which we can discuss in a minute, but specifically for I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, I saw so many videos being like, what the fuck is this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, and I'm like, you don't get sarcasm. Like, you don't get, like, she's like, obvious, like, it's a vibe. Like, it's art. Like, and I don't even have, listen to me stutter trying to get this out. I can't explain it, but I get her intention with it, and I get her humor. And like, it's supposed to be like ironic.
Right. That's like the whole point.
Right? And same thing with So High School. They're like, these lyrics are so childish. And I'm like,
That's the
yes,
point.
because she feels like she's back in high school. Like, I don't understand where people don't connect the dots. And I'm going to be honest, if you don't, this album does not have to be your favorite in the whole world. Everyone has different tastes, whatever. But if you are one of those people that are like, I don't get this album, I hate this album, I don't trust your opinion. I'm sorry.
Give them like 6 months. It's like the same
Yep.
thing with Reputation. Everybody didn't like Reputation, and now everyone's like, Reputation's her best album. And you're like, yeah, no, that's not what you were saying. Like, when it came out, like it's jarring. That's what it is. It's like people are taking it face value and they're not like considering everything else that's going on with it. So it's like people are just like, it's like that quick reaction, like they're just like, oh, this sounds weird. And like I could hear like there are things that are like, some songs are like, oh my god, this sounds like folklore. Oh my god, this sounds like Evermore. Like, oh my god, this sounds like Lover. Like there's like different things. And then there's some that are like, this is that new sound. And it's kind of like Lana-y.
Yes.
I think like the first 2 songs, Fortnite and Tortured Poets Department, I heard so much Lana. And I was just like, she, and they're friends and they like create stuff together. So I get it. So it like made sense. But I was like, that's that newer stuff that she's like coming out with. But like,
But Daddy, I Love Him is so Speak Now.
It's why we'll get to a ranking at some point. That's one of my favorites. I am obsessed with that song. I want to ride a horse to that song.
I have never ever like been like, damn, I really want to be on a horse today until I heard But Daddy, I Love Him.
And like it obviously is a reference to The Little Mermaid. And like she's one of my favorite Disney princesses. So like I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this song. It's so good. But I just heard, I couldn't, there's times where like you're listening to the song and you're like, this sounds like one of her other songs and you can't figure out what it is.
Yes, I feel that with that. What song do you think it sounds like?
Well, not But Daddy, I Love Him. Oh. I looked through people's windows. The second I heard it, I was like, this sounds like Death by a Thousand Cuts.
Yes.
Somebody put it together on TikTok because people move so fucking fast. It's insane. I heard it and I was just like, this is what I've been trying to pinpoint.
Yes.
There's so many like that.
With But Daddy, I Love Him, all I hear is If This Was a Movie in the background. Like the boom, boom, like the beat in the back.
Oh, like interesting.
And literally, I don't know if there's any actual connection with them, but like it would kind of make sense because like if this was a movie, like Disney movie, Disney princess, But Daddy, I Love Him, in like that fantasy princessy world, I have no idea if there's any connection. Also with But Daddy, I Love Him, this is one that hasn't fully, I love it. I love it. I cannot stop singing it. The like meaning and the lyrics, do you think it switches to a different person in that third? Do you think it goes from Maddie to Travis or from Joe to Maddie?
I think maybe when she wrote it, it was Joe to Maddie, but I think now in recent days, it goes from anybody that she was with. Like, I think that it's a very overarching song. I feel like, and like I saw some girl talking about it on TikTok as well, and she basically said like, this is one thing you guys aren't getting about this song. It's not about a specific person. It's about just the idea that it doesn't matter who she's dating. Everyone's going to have an issue with it. Yeah. Like no matter what.
Wow. So, I didn't think about that.
And like, but like, I didn't think about it either. I'm listening to other people because I originally thought that as well. And then she was just like, no, like literally her, like people going like, oh, you're dating him? Like, really? And like that whole thing. But then at the end, she's just like, yeah, but I love him and he's the one I'm going to marry. And it's like kind of the vibe you get. And then at the end, it's like, well, there is a person that I am going to be with for like probably forever. Yeah. And we hope it's Travis because we love Travis.
Yeah.
And like, it makes sense. But like, I totally see the switch when she gets to the end. Because it's like, obviously the lyric changes. I loved the baby line because I audibly gasped. And like, cause like I'm sitting there and like, again, I'm listening to it with Michael and like, she was just like, I'm having his baby. And I like grabbed Michael and I was like, and she was like, no, I'm not.
No,
I was like, you bitch.
we were dying laughing, and I wish I was recording because watching all the people like have their honest reactions, and like that's exactly what she wanted. Like she's definitely scrolling on TikTok, liking these videos of people reacting because it was a very real, because like the lyrics only come up in like one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
No, the reactions that I've been seeing on Twitter TikTok are so good because
Yeah.
each of them are like I watch every single one of them because you know exactly what's gonna happen, but
Yes.
at the same time it's funny every time.
I
'Cause he's
love
like,
it.
I got you. I got you.
I literally love it so much.
No, it was fantastic. And the also I cried during the manuscript, the last song. Like just listening to her just like basically wrap up the whole experience of everything that she talks about on the album. I was just like,
See, I took the manuscript and I saw one video about this. I don't know if this is true. And then I listened to it and it's all I can hear now.
yeah.
I took the manuscript as being about, I don't know if it's about Jake Gyllenhaal, but
Oh.
I thought the manuscript itself was all too well. Like the 10, like, and I can't remember the lyric that like made me think that, but it was like I read the manuscript back and it's not my story to tell anymore. Like
Oh,
there's something in it that like really kind of fits. And again, I don't know if that's true, but
no, that does make a lot of sense. Like just it's like her learning from
yes.
all of these different basically mistakes that she's made over the course of her life.
Also, with knowing how shitty that we know Jake Gyllenhaal is with women now, the lineup, he said that if the sex was half as good as the conversation was, soon they'd be pushing strollers. Like that fits. That checks.
That line was like I was agape. My mouth was agape. I was like no fucking way. Like that's what I'm talking about how like raw and intimate
Yep.
this album is compared to her other ones because we've seen raw and intimate Taylor Swift like an all too well, but
Yeah.
that's insane.
No, it's actually fucking nuts. And this is why I think this album is kind of so polarizing, because this is like uncut Taylor Swift in the best, greatest way possible. So the people that kind of started, normally I feel like she's been formulating her albums based on like fantasy scenarios. How fantasy are they now? We don't really know, but like these made up scenarios. And like Midnights was like a bunch of nights put together. Like these were like really well put together albums. We haven't had a breakup album since 2012 with Red.
That's
And
true.
this is the adult X-rated Red. And so the people who like aren't getting her storytelling, like it's really kind of weaning out the people that
Mm.
like didn't like her initially and didn't get her initially, because it is so dense and it's like it takes so much. Like it's not an album that's just gonna click like and be like a bop immediately. Like
Right.
so, and I love it for that. But like I understand why people are like this isn't for me. But like I also don't trust them
Yeah.
about their opinion because it's just perfect Taylor Swift.
Yeah. No, it's for the people who are as invested as we are, like to appreciate it that quickly, I think. Like I said, I do think there's going to be a lot of people who come around and like will be like, "Oh yeah, this actually is really good." But
Yes.
like that immediate response from like people who are like listening to it to like almost like listen to a story. Like
Yes.
listen to her tell her story and like almost like it's almost like listening to an audiobook where you're
Yes.
just like sitting here just like getting the next book in the series, and it's like that's what's so interesting to us and like why we fiend over this stuff, because it's like yes, she gave us 31 songs, and yes, people are like, how the fuck are you gonna like listen to 31 songs all the time? And you're like, no, you don't get it. Like they're mini stories. It's like folklore forever.
Yes. It's like folklore forever. It's like folklore
forever.
forevermore.
Forevermore.
Wait, I have more lyric proof. Not proof, but like theory.
Okay.
Because she then goes into, then she dated boys who were her own age. We
Right.
knew, so this Jake Gyllenhaal, John Mayer, like maybe it's kind of like Coney Island where she kind of like points at everyone, but I do think the manuscript is all too well. But she said, then she dated boys who were her own age with dartboards on the backs of their doors. She thought about how he said, since she was so wise beyond her years, everything had been above board. And now the years past, like scenes of a show. And then, yeah, now when the only thing that's left is the manuscript, the last survivor for my trip to your shores.
What is that? I want to think the ending of that song. Is it like very happy, or is it still very sad towards the end?
I think it's just kind of like, I forgot that you existed, with just like, it isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference.
Yeah.
Because what it says, now and then I reread the manuscript, but the story isn't mine anymore.
Right.
And you know how on the Eras tour, she always says, like, I wrote these songs about like some point in my life at one time or another, but like now I just want them to be about us.
Yeah.
And maybe the manuscript's just like her entire discography. Like, but it seems like now she's like looking back and like she's not connected to like the pain that she felt or whatever throughout her songs.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right?
As you were like saying some of those things, it made me remember another line that's just fucked up. I think it's Tortured Poets Department, where they say, you take the ring on my middle finger and you move it to the finger that they put wedding rings on. I was literally like, what? That's so fucked up. That is such a fucked up thing to do.
Yep.
And like not mean it and like pretend you mean it. Like that's so fucked up.
And
I was jarred.
The smallest man who ever lived, with the talking rings and talking cradles. I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all. Like, Maddie Healy, yes, you do deserve prison. Like, you really do.
That bridge is one of her best bridges she's ever written and or sang.
I saw so many people be like, oh wait, what? I want to see which one. And we also just need to take note, smallest man who ever lived is insane. The bridge is insane. Yeah. But we technically got 2 track 5s with So Long London and How Did It End? And everyone's saying that neither of them were good track 5s. And I'm like, So
Long London? Are you fucking serious?
It's one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my entire life.
Also jarred. Like, it was like, wait, and I think it was, which one comes after I Can Do It With a Broken Heart? Is it Smallest Man Who's Ever Lived?
Yes.
That was like the most, what a switch.
No, talk about a switch. What about How Did It End? So high school, I hate it.
And you know that these are formulated in a specific pattern. Like,
yes.
There's no coincidences in Taylor Swift world.
And I remember when Red came out, everyone said like the only thing wrong with it was like the order, like it was like super jarring. It made no sense. But then when she came out with her version and she did like all the little audio things, she literally said like this album is supposed to represent like a heartbroken person, like completely all over the place, like all of the stages. And that's exactly what this album is giving as well.
No, it is so crazy. But So Long London is what a song.
Perfect.
What a song. And like I think everyone had expectations for that song going into it just based off of the name, and it exceeded all of my 100%. Expectations.
I will never get over in the bridge when she's just going off and she's like, but I was going down with it. And I'm like, oh, like the emphasis, what was the one after it? You say that I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I can't find it.
And just like also her delivery on a lot of this stuff, it's like there's a few like recorded sighs and like breaths of her just being like and like basically preparing herself to sing the song she's about to sing. Can you imagine what that's going to be like when she plays it on the piano at the Eras tour?
No. The way the Black Dog ends is like the saddest ending. She just like gives up halfway through, yelling, screaming.
She literally, like, that's the thing. It's old habits die screaming. And she ends the song whispering because her old habits are like disintegrating.
Yep.
That's why I wore my black
Wow.
dog shirt today.
Oh, I wish I had a black dog shirt. I would wear it immediately. I need to go to Connecticut like right now.
You can order one online.
Oh,
You can do
that's
that.
probably a safer option.
Yeah, I got my vinyl. I got, which one did you get?
My mom got it for me. It was the clear Target one.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
I'm
so cool.
excited. I'm excited.
I got the black dog one because I was under the assumption that we wouldn't be getting another fucking other album. So I
Yep.
thought at least I'll get one extra song. And I love that. So I love the Black Dog. It is so good. And it's just like, I don't know. It's wonderful. I love it. But
Can we go into our top 5s right now?
should we?
We can.
Should we?
We can. I think it's time.
Should we go back and forth, like start at 5 and make our way up to do
Yeah.
you have an order?
Yes.
Are you in a month of order?
I have somewhat of an order. I want to preface, this is my order for April 23rd at 7:57 p.m. Eastern time. This order could change by 9 p.m. tonight, but this is as close as I can get.
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. Let's start at our number 5. What is your number 5?
Number 5, I currently have My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys.
Oh, I'm so excited for this list, by the way, really quick, because I feel like we're gonna have completely different songs.
Opposites.
Yes.
For the most part. And I literally have asterisked. I want to cover my other ones. But Daddy, I Love Him is in an asterisk below. I was having a really hard time picking between the two of them at 5, but I did go with My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys.
It's a great one. Yeah. It's really a great one. My number 5 is the Black Dog. Because it's one of those songs that also this is all the only thing I've been listening to, obviously, but like when I drive to like go kickboxing, like I need to get like amped up, but I'm listening to the Tortured Poets department. And so like that song, surprisingly, like having it like all the way up in my car, like I'm just driving and it's like the way that it like dun, 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 and then it's like whoosh. I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. Okay. Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I go. I have So Long London.
Okay. I mean, stunning.
Yeah, perfect.
Negroni, Spagliato.
Yes.
With Prosecco in it. I was stunning.
Stunning.
My number 4 is The Smallest Man Who's Ever Lived.
Valid.
Honestly, if the entire song was just the bridge, I'd be okay with it.
I literally recorded a TikTok singing it, and it was 1 minute and 22 seconds long of me just finishing the end of, and I was like, I can never post this. Like, brain singing for over 1 minute, almost 1.5 minutes.
That's amazing.
Wait, I'm gonna chat you something that cannot be aired. Your reaction.
Oh, we love the good private chat. Oh. Correct.
Correct.
No one will ever know.
And you deserve prison, but you won't get time. So
slay.
Moving on.
Number
3. Guilty as Sin.
Oh, love that.
Oh,
love that. In my number 5.
In my mind. I literally saw someone make a TikTok that said there is a before you hearing the bridge of Guilty as Sin, and then there is an after you. And I don't know how I made it 26 years. God, good. What a perfect song. It's like the female rage version of Lips of an Angel.
That was like your shit.
And that's literally one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah. We don't condone cheating ever unless we don't condone cheating. However, these two songs They're hits. They're hits.
Unless
Unless one of those is playing. But that doesn't mean cheat. That just means you're allowed to sing about it and be okay.
fair. Very fair.
No acting, just living in the moment for a brief second.
Oh
No
my
cheating.
god.
Anyone.
We'll find out.
We will find out. And then you'll be fresh out the slammer.
Oh my god. Okay. My number 3, I'm really enjoying the fact that we haven't crossed over any songs yet. My number 3 is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Literally, mostly because of the ending of that song.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I'm miserable.
And nobody even knows. Try to come for my job.
Try to come for my job. No, literally, I was like, it's like it starts and you're just like, I feel this. And I loved that the little background is her inner earpiece, like while she's singing like live. I thought that was just like it's such a good like little Easter egg.
No, I love it. And I love that you can like feel like the shift change where it's like he said he was going to meet, like she starts sounding so anxious when it was like he's going to love me all my life, but that life was too short. And then it's like as the crowd was chanting more and she gets like right back into like work mode, like
oh, you gave me goosebumps. And number 2.
My number 2 is a freaking hit. Now I'm down bad crying at the gym. Everything comes out teenage. Fucking if I can't have it.
Oh, so good. So good. That's why it's like these top 5s, like there's no wrong answers, I don't think.
Because I'm gonna have a like I can't really call any of them happy, but like just like good beats, like upbeat ones. Like there's moods where like I'm like, I want this, and then there are moods where I'm like, oh no, I want to cry and never recover.
Right.
There are songs for both of those feelings.
Right.
Yeah, Down Bad is my number 2.
Such a good number 2.
Thank you.
Such a good number 2. My number 2 is But Daddy, I Love Him.
Real.
Yeah.
Real.
Just, literally, I think it's so visual too.
Yes. And you're such a speak now girly.
I'm such a speak now girly. I can't help it. But like the idea of her running with like her dress unbuttoned and like running through like a field and like just being like, no, but I have to marry him. I love him. And you're just like, I love that.
I literally want to buy a gown and go to the Jersey Shore and run on the beach to this song because it would just be the most euphoric feeling in the entire world.
It's like the same as like the trend when people were doing to August.
Yes.
On the beach.
Oh, it's gonna resurface with this summer. 100%.
I love it.
Okay.
And number 1s.
My number 1, The Black Dog.
Is it really? Wow.
It's the best song I've like literally ever heard in my entire life.
Wow. I love that.
It is impeccable. I was trying so hard not to say when you're like, I got the Black Dog vinyl and you're wearing the Black Dog sweatshirt. I was trying to be like,
no,
just
that's
so
insane.
I love female rage and I love, you already talked about it a little bit, but like how it like picks up and then she's just like, do you hate me? And I'm like, oh my God, like it's just so like the way it escalates, I'm just like
wow, that is not at all what I was expecting.
Really?
No, not at all.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me.
That's another. The fact that that isn't in my top 5 right now feels like a crime. Because that's honestly probably her best song she's ever written, and I'm not afraid to say it.
No, fair.
These are just the ones I'm connecting with the most right now. These are not like this is my ranking. Like
my couple. I'll throw in my few honorable mentions. LOML.
Oh yes.
Loss of My Life or Love of My Life, whatever part of the song you're in.
Yeah.
I'm Gonna Get You Back. I wonder if her and Olivia Rodrigo had a conversation about that because it's literally Get You Back.
Yep.
Thank You, Amy. That's just a fucking Like, I wish I could play the guitar so I could play that song because I'm like, ding, 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 dun, 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 dun. I wish I could. It's so
Yeah.
good.
And it's
It's so
just
good.
fucking crazy.
It is.
Like, where she's like, and your kid's gonna come home singing a song that only the two of us know is about each other. And I was like, girl.
I am going to lose my shit if North like posts a video screaming "fuck you, Amy" or
I
something.
saw someone tweet and said, we all know North is gonna call Kim Amy when she's pissing her off. Like,
So good. I I love
also, wait, while we're on this, did you see that Kim Kardashian posted with Carly Kloss today?
I just like choked a little on my spit. I did not see that.
Yep. Yep. Let me pull
What
it
a
up.
snake.
They
What's
were
up
here.
there?
It's the first thing up. So Kim's here. Carly here. Posted 12 hours ago.
That's amazing. That's insane.
I need to know what conversations are being had.
My dad, shout out to my dad if he's watching. My dad is like slowly integrating himself into the world of Taylor Swift, and I appreciate him for it. Cuz he really does like her. And this album came out and I told him, I was like, this album is for you, Dad. And he hates the Kardashians. Hates them. And I told him that Taylor Swift wrote a diss track about Kim Kardashian, and he went, yes.
That is the only appropriate reaction.
I mean, technically, too, if you think about, because
Yes.
Cassandra is supposed to be about her, too.
See, I thought Cassandra was about Scooter Braun. Like when everyone started dropping him. I have no idea, though.
I think the only reason why I thought it was Kim related was because they said that they threw snakes in her cell or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
and that's fair.
But who knows? Maybe that's just a Reputation Easter egg for us. Who knows?
Oh God. I also just saw, speaking of the greatest song ever written, The Black Dog.
Yeah.
So The Black Dog was written on May 18th.
How do you know that?
Recorded. Because Jack Antonoff loves to give us a full timeline because he's like, I want you all to know. And he literally posted pictures of Taylor and was like, this song was recorded on this day. And he did the same thing with You're Losing Me.
Right.
So, but The Black Dog was recorded on May 18th.
Okay.
Taylor and Joe's breakup was announced April 8th.
Mm-hmm.
May 18th is, hold on.
Is that like his birthday or something?
No, it's like almost exactly 6 weeks apart, which 6 weeks of breathing clean air. I still miss the smoke. And her and Maddie were together at that time. So I think The Black Dog is about Joe.
That's crazy. That I can see. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because old habits die screaming.
Yep.
And he became a habit.
Yep.
Because I think they just fell into a rhythm and they just stayed together for much longer than they needed to.
Oh my God. Someone just put this parallel together.
Oh my God.
From Hits Different, each bar plays our song, Nothing Has Ever Felt So Wrong. In The Black Dog, when someone plays the starting line. Jump up, but she's too young to know this song. Black Dog is 100% about Joe.
I saved a tweet so that I could bring this up now that you said parallels, because I saved a tweet that had like a bunch of different parallels, some of which that I was like, all right, we're kind of stretching a little bit, but there were a few on there that I was like, oh, wait, let me pull it up. How do I get to, I feel like an old person. How do I get to my bookmarks? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. Love or loss of my life. She said, you said I'm the love of your life about 1,000,000 times. And then in Illicit Affair, she says, but they lie and they lie and they lie 1,000,000 little times. That was how I saw that first one and I was like, bookmark. I need to read the rest.
Saved.
Let's see. In Sweet Nothing, she said, and the voices that implore you should be doing more. and I can do it with a broken heart, she said, with all the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. That one I also was like, oh my gosh.
Oh shit. I still can't figure out if Sweet Nothing is a happy song or a sad song.
I think it just depends on your headspace.
Okay, because I look at it as happy
I agree.
because I like in my relationship, it's a very calming, which I've never had. So for me, Sweet Nothing and like the calming nature of it, I'm like, this is like my safe place. But I've seen some people take it as like the Sweet Nothing is like he's giving her nothing. She doesn't feel anything. But I think it's still
I
happy.
think it's a happy song. And
Okay.
I'm taking it as a happy song because it's getting somehow incorporated into my wedding, and I don't want to think about it as a sad song.
It's a happy song. I also see it as a happy song.
Because it's like you're coming home to someone not because of any other reason other than the fact that you love them.
Yes.
Like that's the point of that song.
Yes.
And that's the only analysis we will talk about. Wait, there was another one. Oh, you're losing me and so long London. My face was gray, but you wouldn't admit that we were sick. And she said, then I'm getting color back into my face. That one I like heard like immediately, and I immediately thought of You're Losing Me.
Yes.
And then she said, I can't find a pulse. My heart won't start anymore. I stopped CPR. After all, it was no use. The spirit was gone. It would never come to.
Also CPR, Cassandra, Peter, Robin.
Whoa. Also, it took me a hot second to realize that Peter was like a Peter Pan thing.
Really?
It didn't click until like today.
I have this like super weird, I have like an obsession with Peter Pan. And like I'm obsessed. There are so many songs. Cardigan's one of my favorite songs ever. And the Peter Pan reference is like not a huge part of that, but a little extra sprinkle.
Yeah.
And like any song about Peter Pan and boys not growing up, I eat up like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
The last one that I'll mention, there's a lot more, but you just mentioned 6 weeks of breathing clean air. I still miss the smoke in the black dog. In daylight, she says, clearing the air, I breathe in the smoke. Which we all know most of Lover is about Joe, whether we like it or not. I don't want to think about it.
I'm having a hard time believing anything at this point. But and also people are going back like through her whole discography and seeing like how many, now that we know how intense everything with Maddie Healy was, and like it just like really seems like he was her muse for a lot. So, and you know what? If that's the only thing he's good for in life, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Sure.
As long as my queen Taylor is okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and I'm at first when like everybody was saying that these songs were about Maddie Healy, and I was like, but they were together for such a short period of time. And then finding out this more extensive situationship basically that they've been in for at least 10 years. Like it just, everybody I guess needs that one person that's like not the right choice for them, but like is a like, I don't know, it's like someone that they always go back to. If it created all this good music, I hope she's okay now, but like I guess it's also like it made so much good stuff.
My two biggest heartbreaks ever that drove me the most crazy were two like 4-month-long situationships. Like never actually dated, never got serious enough. And I like this album screams. I also saw someone else tweet like, Taylor makes me want to invest in a situationship. And I'm like, run. No. Do not do it. Do not do it. But that's what this whole album is giving, that like intense rage after a situationship filled with passion.
Yeah, I think that this is one of her best albums with some of her best work. It really annoyed me seeing like music critics saying like, what are you doing? You know, like, what is this? Like, I think I saw a music, like a very respected music guy on the internet. His name is Anthony Fantano, who actually Michael introduced me to a long, long time ago. He's been on the internet for such a long time, and he's given Taylor her graces, like given her flowers, like about certain things. But like he came in and was listening to Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and he was just like, Taylor, what are you doing? Nobody's afraid of you. Listen, and I'm like, you're explaining the song, Anthony. Like, come on. Like, I was like so angry about it. And it's like, I'm very defensive about this album. And that's how I know it's like, it's hard hitting and that I very much enjoy it.
Yes. Now, before we hop off, I want to see where would you say right now that this album ranks out of all 11? Do you have a feeling of where you'd place it? Because I know.
I actually haven't thought about it. So honestly, probably at like 4, 5, 6 spot. Somewhere in there. I'd have to like sit down and like physically do my ranking. But like, yeah, I have my top 3. So like, I know that those 3 are basically set in stone. So it would probably be like 4, 5, 6 level.
See, with this out, prior to literally Thursday evening, like when my sister and my friends were coming over, like getting ready to listen, I sat everyone down and I was like, I'm ready to confess something. They were like, okay. And I was like, it's been 2 years. Midnights is my favorite Taylor Swift album of all time. I was like, I have accepted it.
Yeah.
Like, it's my album. And they were like, we all knew this. You're valid. All good. This came out and everyone looked at me and they're like, you're going to be so annoying because this is like, it has all the Midnights vibes that I wanted. And I can confidently say my top 3, I don't have an order anymore. My top 3 albums are Folklore, Midnights, and Tortured Poets Department. I love me some dark, folky synth pop.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually going to ask you how you felt about this because you mentioned like a while ago, if you were like, when this album came out, you were like, Midnights has been one of my favorite albums, but I didn't know if it was recency bias or not. And like you were saying, you were interested. So would you say though that like out of Folklore, Midnights, and Tortured Poets, out of those 3, if you had to listen to one of those albums for the rest of your life, like which one of those 3 is your favorite?
Right now, being so completely honest, it's Tortured Poets.
Okay.
But that is 100% recency bias. I need like 6 months before I can like really determine. But I gave Midnights all the time in the world.
You did.
I've tried listening to other things. That is my fucking album. And
you gave it so much time.
I gave it so much time, but I like, just because like no one had it ranked super high. And I was like, am I crazy? Like for loving this album so much? And no, it was my most listened to album by far for 2 years straight. Last year, I think it was, I wonder if I can go back and find it. Last year, I think like out of my top 20 songs, 14 of them were Midnights.
Yeah. If like, we go back to that episode where we talked about our Apple replay, you said it was Midnights, 3 a.m. edition, and then Midnights Till Dawn were all in like your top 10 albums.
Yeah, no, it was like, it has a chokehold on me. And so I'm interested to see which one will take the cake once we are fully accustomed and used to both.
Man. This was a very much needed. I needed to talk through this album with someone because also I have to say though, Michael has like been listening. Also, there's so much songs on TikTok and stuff right now too that I just keep playing over and over again. Yeah. He's been singing a lot of Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. He's been singing what was the other one? I think But Daddy I Love Him, but that's just because I've been singing it a lot. And then Florida. We didn't even talk about Florida.
No.
Florida with 3 exclamation points.
And Florida is so amazing. Florida is when I don't get Florida yet, because I know she's not just talking about Florida.
Right.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I saw a news article, a genuine news article, not a TikTok, that was talking about how the people in Destin, Florida are like their economy like rose or something just because Taylor Swift mentioned Destin, Florida in a song. And I think that's hilarious.
Wait, just to prove my Midnight's point.
Okay.
This was 2023. The album came out in 2020, November of 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds right.
That's my top 5 songs of last year. Also, that's embarrassing because Is It Over Now came out like at the
Right.
end of the year.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure 1989 Taylor's version was like in my top 3 albums.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I
didn't
listened to so much 1989. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
The
listened to
Midnight.
2,600 minutes of Midnights. No, plus I listened to 3,200 minutes of Midnights last year.
That's pretty bananas.
That's disgusting. She's my baby.
Yes. But yeah, I feel like there's even more things that we didn't even touch on.
There's so much, but I feel like the more we get accustomed to this album, this will not be the last time that we talk about Tortured Poets. It's probably going to come up during the draft. I know we're going to quote it at least 8
Oh
times.
my god.
I'm just waiting for the moment that I can make like the perfect Philly sports Who's Afraid of Little Old Me edit. Like I'm waiting for the moment because I know one will come.
My like Friday morning anthem is going to be I Can Do It With a Broken Heart if
Yep.
the Giants draft a quarterback. So I'm gonna be like, and I'm miserable. But everybody knows.
Oh my God. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Unsolicited. If you're new here, make sure to give us a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Also, down in the comments, drop your top 5s, any hot takes, any thoughts you have on the album in general, unless you didn't like it. I'm kidding, but
We don't want to hear it.
I just don't trust you. If you don't already, make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts at the unsolicited_podcast for TikTok, Instagram, and threads, at Sam and Jordyn for Twitter. We are also available wherever you get your audio podcasts. And make sure to keep your eyes out. We'll be posting a bunch this weekend for the NFL draft. So we hope to see you hanging out with us there. And we love you and we love Tortured Poets.
We love you, Taylor Swift. Come on the podcast.
Please.
Bye.